This morning on Jersey Magazine here at 105.5 WDHA and 1250 WMTR, we welcome back Mike Hamm from Greetings from the Garden State. Mike, you and I both have a baseball background, but this morning we're talking soccer,
That's
World Cup
right.
soccer
Uh,
specifically.
yeah. We're talking World Cup, and it's really exciting. Jersey, I mean, technically New York, New Jersey, but we're all about Jersey here. So and it's gonna be in New Jersey. So just gonna say New Jersey coming to MetLife Stadium in 2026, and it's very exciting. A huge event, and the finals are gonna be here too, which is pretty incredible.
I noticed on the FIFA website that they list the stadiums by the city, like it's
Yeah,
Boston Stadium, Philadelphia Stadium. And at first I'm looking, I go, wait, what? And
yeah,
then I saw New York, New Jersey Stadium, saw the picture and go, oh, hey, listen, at least we're finally getting some name recognition thrown in there. It's not just
yeah.
the New York Giants or the New York Jets. We're actually getting New Jersey in that title.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll take it. I think the more that people see what we're doing and what we have to offer, the more respect gets put on our name, so to speak. And I'm pretty excited that I mean, not that I really have anything to do with it, but I think it's really exciting for the region and the state to have something like this because not only do you have the World Cup games being played at MetLife, Philly is also one of the host stadiums, so it's almost kind of this really incredible moment for the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state to have this huge economic impact for what is coming to us in a couple of years.
And three host countries, of which the United States is one, Canada and Mexico the others. And I think they've increased by 16 teams the number of that will be competing in 2026, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. I forget they told me how many teams are going to be playing. It's like 36, 42 or something I forget the exact number of teams that are going to be participating, but I think in the state or in the country, excuse me, I think there's 11 host cities in the United States. So all over the place, but it's all going to culminate in the finals here in New Jersey in East Rutherford.
So when the episode drops, what do you have for us with regard to World Cup?
Yeah, so we got to sit down with a few different people. So it's a little bit different than what we normally do. We actually got a chance to go out to MetLife and sit down in one of their suites and talk to Lauren LaRusso and Bruce Revman, who are the co-host city managers. So they essentially run the World Cup host committee here in the state. And then we sat with Steve Sansones, who's the VP of operations and events at MetLife Stadium, just to kind of get a glimpse into what's actually taking place within the arena and kind of how they're setting it up to meet both FIFA requirements and make sure that they're giving the guests and attendees the same level of experience that they've come to expect from MetLife. And then finally, we sat down with Jim Kirkos, who is the president and CEO of the Meadowlands Chamber of Commerce and also the Meadowlands Travel and Tourism Bureau. I think I messed up that part of his title, but that's a really important piece of it because you remember 10 years ago we had the Super Bowl come to MetLife, and that was obviously a huge event. And one of the things, they learned a lot from a big event like a Super Bowl coming through. But this is, I think they said something like 3 billion eyes are going to be on the World Cup games, especially the final. So it's the biggest event in the world, really. And making sure that the economic impact in that region is both prepared for and then realized the best way possible by the local businesses and communities that surround MetLife Stadium and all the things that are going on around that.
Yeah, you mentioned how popular the World Cup is around the world, and it is really, really huge. Other sports may take precedence here in the United States for the most part during the
Sure.
regular course of the sporting year. But once you get to the World Cup, it's incredible. Did they give you an idea of the economic impact that they're expecting here in New Jersey from this?
I think they're still trying to figure that out numbers wise, I think. But, one of the things that we talked about, and this is a really interesting piece and why I think the area and the region became such a integral part of the World Cup here in the United States, and then ultimately hosting the final is the economic impact or the societal impact of how much this means to communities in this region. So you look at that part of New Jersey, obviously New York City as well, and you could theoretically fill MetLife Stadium with people from the different countries that are going to be playing in MetLife Stadium with just the people that live in this immediate area. So it's one of the most economic, geographic, socioeconomic, diverse areas of the world, really, and bringing it all culminating in this one place is going to be really exciting. And they're working on a lot of ways to help activate attendees and guests that may not have tickets to the games, but are or matches. I guess we got to call it a match. Tickets to the matches, but also being able to kind of host parties in different parts of the region and the state and in New York City as well. And just trying to maximize not just what's happening within the stadium, but in the communities around it.
I am generally a casual fan of the World Cup or of soccer, but once the World Cup
Same.
comes around, I really kind of get glued to it, except I just cannot wrap my head around extra time.
Me neither. So if you're looking for an explanation of that, I can't help you. But I just know it's 90 minutes, but it goes a couple minutes longer, and then you
Yeah.
just got to deal with it.
And who decides how many minutes and all that. That's the one that really throws me.
Yeah, well, we got
So
a couple years to figure it out because it's not coming until 2026. So you and I can sit down and we'll kind of, iron out what extra time is and all the other rules that we don't quite understand, and we'll be experts by the time the World Cup gets here.
I also wanted to mention a couple of things. Since our conversation on Rutt's Hut, I have had such a craving for hot dogs, Mike. It's driving me crazy.
I mean, honestly, me too, and that's why I go scratch that itch whenever it comes through. I mean, it's amazing, it's legendary, and it's legendary for a reason. I actually was talking with somebody recently about when we had Jersey Fest and we had Rutt's Hut come out, and they they've heard of Rutt's Hut, but they didn't quite understand exactly what it is. They didn't know, they've never been, and so I explained it's a deep fried hot dog, and I was like, it sounds so simple, yet it's so refined, elegant, beautiful. It's like a work of art, and there's a reason why it's the best hot dog in America.
I've been trying to recreate the Ripper, and I just can't do it. I'm going to have
No,
to
you
take a
can't.
road trip.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me know because I live close, so we'll go over there together.
And the other episode that was really, really fascinating, you had Denise Rue, the founder of the New Jersey Psychedelic Therapy Association, on. And that conversation, Mike, was just riveting. I found it so interesting to listen to her talk about what's going on with psychedelic therapy here in New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely one a little bit outside of what the types of episodes that we normally do, honestly, but definitely one that was very eye-opening for me, and I learned a lot. And I actually got more people reaching out when I sent out, the email blast that we have a new episode out. I had more people reach out and reply to that email than I've ever had. Just kind of, this is really interesting. This is really important work. I got connected with Denise, and I think we talked about this through my friend Bill Anthes, who's a former Green Beret who did his own psychedelic retreats. And I think he might have gone to Costa Rica, but I forget off the top of my head. But now Bill is a therapist and he is part of the Psychedelic Therapy Association. That's how he knew Denise, and that's how I got connected to Denise. And he, as a former Green Beret and suffering from PTSD and some different things, it said it changed his life. And just to kind of get a little bit more of a glimpse into the inner workings of it and what they're trying to work on with education and awareness and kind of breaking the stigmas around those drugs and how it can help people, I think it was really cool and it was really important, and I'm glad that was a good episode that we released this year.
Yeah, breaking the stigma, I think, is very important because that was one of the things as I'm listening to it. I have no personal experience with psychedelics of
Me
any
neither.
kind. The
Yeah.
closest I think I would be I was a resident advisor, one of the dormitories in college, and while making rounds one night, there was a phone call to one of the rooms, and one of the residents said to me, "I need your help. Somebody's on the other end of the phone." It was a friend of theirs, and they were having a bad trip.
Yeah.
And me, with literally no experience,
No
talked
pressure.
this person
Yeah.
down. I knew enough to like, well, okay, try this, try this, try this. And then we made sure we got somebody to that room where
Right.
that person was. So, this is light years, though, from what that was, a recreational use, if you
Sure.
will, of what can be a rather dangerous substance in the wrong hands.
Sure. And then I think honestly, that is a stigma that they're trying to break. But it is, if, like you said, in the wrong hands and used the wrong way, it can be dangerous, and it can put you in harm's way. But the way that we talked about it and all the infrastructure, because once the bill gets passed, assuming that it gets passed, it's still a long road to go before it's actually being implemented by therapists to their patients because there's so much infrastructure that has to go into it. Obviously like you see cannabis and some different things legalized in this state, and kind of the timeline that it takes to get those things implemented and used by folks. But this is next level because it's only be used by therapists, and then people using it or prescribed to it by their therapists are it's only certain therapists, licensed ones, and then it has to be under their surveillance and all these different things and where you're getting it and how you're getting it and where you're sourcing it and everything. There's so many layers to it that it's going to take a while for sure. But understanding and having a better understanding now of the research behind it and how it can help people and everything. It's just a matter of getting it passed and then working on getting that infrastructure put together.
And you can check all of this out on the website at greetingsfromthegardenstate.com, whether you're looking for information on that or Ruts Hut or World Cup coming to New Jersey here in 2026. Mike, thanks for your time this week.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.